Invincible Season 4 just ended around a week ago, and I'm not gonna lie, it was just fine. I think one of my problems with this show now is it kind of just feels like the same every season, where it's just like, yeah, that was more Invincible, and it doesn't really change much. It's always Mark dealing with his problems and second guessing about killing people or not, and if you ask me, I'm kind of getting burnt out now. Before I get started properly, I do have to say that the animation sucks ass. A lot of people have been saying it, and I'm gonna agree with them. There's moments in this season that literally have animation errors, even for its bigger, more budget episodes like episode 7, which has a lot of issues, and that genuinely is not a good thing, especially with how popular this show is, that it deserves to have somewhat solid animation. But no, it's just been getting worse each season. And I know I have heard that there are apparently like only 4 animators working on the show each episode, which genuinely does suck, as it lacks its style and camera work and shading that the first season at least had. I think what also sucks about it is the fact that Robert Kirkman just cares about getting some popular voice actors, which, while that is good, you gotta realize the animation matters more, as this show is classified as American Shonen, I'd say. Besides that, I am going to be covering another video on Invincible in general, which will hopefully be out somewhere this year, and I will talk about the animation problem more. Now, in general, this season was kind of up and down. It was a bit disappointing in my opinion, and if you ask me, like I said before, it feels the same, and if I'm going to be honest, I kind of just wish stuff like the Invincible War lasted longer than just 4 episodes. I mean, what was the reason for that boring ass filler episode? I heard in the comics shortly after season 3 they moved straight to the Invincible War, and they don't cram in some filler nonsense like this season did, especially with how they only have 8 episodes per season, so it's quite tight in schedule to fit a lot of the canon stuff. I feel as if they should have had 1 or 2 episodes of Mark taking care of the city and building up these characters that were going to fight in the war, to then get straight to the point at episode 3, but I guess not. I also will say that I heard they swapped Tech Jacket's gender, and I'm not really annoyed about it like some people are. I actually find her to be an okay character so far. I don't really, honestly, I don't mind her character so far. I also don't find the ending to be as bad as people say. I honestly enjoyed it too. I liked Mark dealing with his stress after coming back, and it was a lot more of a grounded ending compared to like other seasons like season 3 and season 1 and even season 2, like, which I don't like really have a problem about with this ending, even though like hearing Mark talk about his issues gets very repetitive. And while there is good episodes in this season like 5, 6, 7 and 8, I found it to be nothing special for me personally, as I've seen stuff like this before in other media, and the way Invincible did it was just quite basic, to be honest. Another one of my main issues with this season is that it's even an issue in season 3, is just Eve and Mark's relationship. All the time, it's just Mark talking about his issues. It's never Eve getting to speak up for herself and talk about her problems, and they always remain on that goddamn roof every single fucking episode, which gets so annoying. And I understand it's a healthy relationship, but I just find it to be boring. Like, if I'm gonna be honest, all they do is have sex, and Mark just talks about how he's not good enough to be a hero. And while I don't mind that, I kind of wish Eve had a character and challenges Mark in this relationship. I haven't read the comics, but from what I've heard, Eve and Mark's relationship is a lot better in general, since the way they get together in season 3 is also not so quick, and they actually talk constantly in season 1 and 2. And it's just like, I feel like this relationship's gotta like have some difference to it, man, because it's just so boring each episode, and I wish they gave it some like challenge and like some difficulties to deal with in this relationship. It's just the same all the time every season, and I just hope they change it. It's just getting so repetitive. I also have to mention Thrag is also a very interesting villain so far. I'm excited to see what they do with his character, as they made him very menacing this season, so I wonder what will come next. And I heard like he's like the main final villain in the show and stuff, and especially what happened in the ending of season 4, how now he's like roaming around the world now pretty much, and like Mark will never know, which Mark was actually justified there. I always say Mark's a terrible hero, but you know what, I will give him some props there, because I don't know what else I'd do in that situation either, or another superhero, other than say yes to agree to his terms. However, Mark once again is still just a terrible hero, but at least he's not as bad as how he was in season 3, slightly better. The power scaling in this show too, like, I'm on about that more. It just sucks so much in general. I don't know why, but like, Robert Kirkman just does not do power progression, and when it comes to a superhero show where Mark is actually pretty powerful, you need power progression, because it's not like Spider-Man when you can let it off, because we're talking about like Viltrumites here who are practically on like have pretty much like powerful capabilities. Yeah, we see them struggling against the dragon, or some random aliens with guns that don't do fuck all, or even in general just villains that we see every now and then Mark just fucking loses to because his power is somehow weak. But when it's a Viltrumite, he acts like a completely different person, which makes the whole city and ground shake like in season 3 episode 8. It's just weird, and I will be like definitely addressing this more in future videos if they continue with this, because it needs a massive fix, because it's just like little issues like these that just build up and they actually affect the show really badly. I personally used to love Invincible. I'm not gonna like, I haven't like switched up on it fully. I mean, I used to love it. I remember in my season 3 review, I used to like praise it a lot, but I've noticed a lot more issues now that just have me saying like, yeah, this show's not as good as it used to be in season 1. And with season 4 airing, I still don't think it reaches a peak that season 1 did in episode 8. It was such a powerful moment with Omni-Man Mark's fight. It's just so powerful to the story and it affects it a lot. And honestly, it just like, the writing has not become as good as it has since that season, if you ask me. And you then get to season 3 where it's like, damn, this is a massive fall off from what made the show good in season 1, and I'd say somewhat season 2 as well. Season 3 and 4, they're just like, season 3 is definitely weaker, but season 4 is just okay still. It's nothing crazy. I think just part of the reason is that this show is just getting too samey and repetitive. They need to have proper animation, they need to do power progression, and they need to actually get to the point more, because there was so much filler for the first couple episodes in this season. I don't know why we have to deal with like some Mark getting beat up by these alien guys, and I forgot which episode it was. And then also like the parasites in one of like, I think the first or second episode, which just got really annoying. And then I had to deal with the whole Mark killing stuff and his no kill rule. That just gets so annoying hearing about this on and on and on again. It's not like bad in any sense, it's just feels so fillerish, because you know Mark can take these guys out in like one hit, but they just nerf him so much for some reason. But either way, it's still Invincible and it's still enjoyable. But I can't lie when I say that it needs to be a bit different now, because it's getting pretty boring and repetitive. Not a bad season, but could be better. So I'm going to go ahead and give Invincible Season 4 a 6 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.